Good morning. Okay, I hope you guys can hear me well. The question was posed to me, what do I do for stretches before and after walking or jogging? In all honesty, beforehand, I get so much crap out here. Before I jog or before I walk, I don't do any stretching. Especially because before I'm walking, that's just kind of, I just start out slow. And you really shouldn't stretch unless your muscles are warmed up. So unless you're doing like some kind of active warm up, then you can stretch. And the same thing with jogging. I actually just walk about a quarter mile before I start jogging. And the only thing I might do is just like give my shoulders a little stretch, just like this, or on the wall, or sometimes my hips get a little bit tight, so I'll just do a little side to side, kind of a side lunge, transverse lunge. But otherwise, I guess there's one more. I might do like a calf stretch, and the best calf stretches are if you are just on a step and just let your heel hang down, or put your foot up against something like this and lean forward, and wow, you can really feel that in your calf. So it's basically your calves, hamstrings, quads, but walk first, or do some sun salutations or something. If you're going to stretch before you walk or jog, do something active before you do the stretches, because your muscles should be warmed up before you stretch. Now, afterwards is a little different story. There's a couple things that I do. One is I do what I call a 30-30-30, and for somebody that's just starting out, you would not want to do 30-30-30. You might just start with 10-10-10 or 5-5-5. And I will show you that here in a minute. Secondly, if I don't have time for the 30-30-30, I will just, again, mostly do hamstring stretches, because that's the thing that gets the tightest for me. And I generally will just sit and stretch. Now, I'm a little more flexible, so I can go all the way down, and it's okay to get a little bit of a rounded spine in there. But if you want to just at first start by hinging right at the hips and getting that stretch like this, that's good for the hamstrings, and right up where to that, right up where the hamstring attaches to the glutes. Otherwise, I will lay on my back and do the hamstring stretches like this, okay? And then also, of course, the hips. So you might want to do like a figure 4, laying on your back. That's a good one for the hips. You might want to just take those legs out wide and stretch. And that really gets into the inner thighs. Do those calf stretches like I showed you. Feet together, butterflies, grab one foot, quad stretch. And then, of course, you know, your upper body gets a good workout when you're jogging, especially, but walking or jogging. So again, shoulder stretches, anything that you can do for the upper body to stretch out the shoulders. The other thing that I try to do as well is get my 6 movements in the spine in. And I know if you've taken any classes from me, if you did any training or anything with me, that is really big is that you always get the 6 movements in the spine in. And you should do that every day. These are the 6 movements in the spine. And I'll show you a few exercises that you can do to get those in. first of all, you have the forward flexion. So forward flexion at the hips, and that's like a forward fold, and you're getting that as well when you are seated, leaning forward. Next is back extension. So either standing and extending through the back, but you want to make sure that you're lifting up out of the hips. Here is another way to get those two movements in. Cat-cow, which we do a lot in classes. The next two movements is lateral side bend. So you got lateral side bend right, lateral side bend left. Seated, lateral side bend, each side. And it doesn't have to be huge, you just have to get those 6 movements in. Standing, lateral side bend, okay? Or both arms can be up. Next, you've got trunk rotation right, trunk rotation left. So that's just a twist. So right, left. Seated. So many different ways that you can do it. You can get a little hip stretch in there as well. Okay? So all of those are in my routines. So at least getting the 6 movements of the spine in. Now, let's go back to that 30-30-30 that I talked about. This is just something extra that I do generally on the days that I run. And I will try to get it in twice a week. It does take a little extra time. It takes me approximately 40 to 45 minutes. So I know that a lot of people don't have that much time, but it is something that you can do without even, doing anything else that day. So here's what it is. And you can pick any 3 movements, but I just pick these 3 because it's flexibility and lengthening, and it's also strengthening, and it's core work, okay? The first movement of my 30-30-30, I do 10 of these, 10 of them. I begin in Tadasana, and I want to make sure that my legs are really fully engaged. So I'm rolling those inner thighs in and up, really engaging the core, shoulders over hips, chin parallel. Lift that crown of the head, so stand nice and tall. Taking a big inhale, doesn't matter, you don't have to do the yoga breath. Exhale, hinge forward. So there's that forward flexion movement. Inhale to a half lift. Exhale forward, inhale, roll to stand. So I just let the arms hang, and I really engage the core, not the glutes, because you're going to have a tendency when you come up to start engaging the glutes. But I keep the core engaged. Once I'm at the top, I roll those shoulders up towards the ears, and then shoulder blades together and down the back, and engage those legs again and everything right into that nice strong Tadasana. So I'll do that one more time. I do 10 of these. Again, inhale, sweep up. Exhale, hinge forward. Inhale to a half lift. Exhale, forward. Inhale, stack the vertebrae. Rolling the shoulders up. Exhale at the top in your Tadasana. That's the first movement. 10 of those in succession. After you finish the 10th one, you will end up number 10 here. Then I step back into a downward dog. If I need to take a few moments there in downward dog, I do that and just pedal out my feet. Just get that nice hamstring stretch, calf stretch. Then I will do 10 vinyasas, which is roll out plank, chaturanga, lift cobra, downward dog. So 10 of those in succession. I've done 10 spinal roll-ups, 10 downward dogs. In your downward, not 10 downward dogs, 10 vinyasas, excuse me. 10 spinal roll-ups, 10 vinyasas. In your going through the vinyasas, in your downward dog, make sure that your fingers are spread. Middle finger facing forward, chest pressing towards your thighs, navel lifted, sits bones reaching up, heels pressing back. Don't worry if you can't get them on the mat. You want to just think of pressing them towards the back of your mat. Eventually, you may be able to get them down. Rolling out into your plank. Core is strong. Shoulders over crease of the wrist, abs pulled up. Don't get the dip in your back. Keep the abs pulled up. Rather would see a little roll, I don't know what the word is. I'd rather see the booty lifted as opposed to the dip in the back. I hope that makes sense, okay? Then, roll up onto those toes, squeeze the elbows in, lower slow, chest, belly drop, reach your toes back, press the tops of the feet on the mat, lift up into cobra, doesn't have to be high, press downward dog, you can go from your knees, press downward dog, okay? 10 of those. After 10, I flip around onto my back and I do 10 leg lifts. So here's the core work. I will put my hands here. You can put them underneath. Sometimes I'll put one here just to keep my core strong. Sometimes I'll extend both arms above my head. Let me get a little closer. So here we go. I flex, lower, point, lift. Flex, lower, point, strong core, exhale, lift. So it's inhale, lower, exhale as you lift. After that, I might do a few spinal rolls and then come right up to standing and start at the top again. So I've done 10 spinal rolls, 10 vinyasas, 10 leg lifts, and maybe that's where you stop. Or you go on and do another 10, 10, 10, or another 10, 10, 10. I stop at 30, 30, 30. So that's my 30, 30, 30, okay? That's what I do. Like I said, it gives me the lengthening and the flexibility and the upper body work and then the core work. Now, I can also get all of my spinal movements in that 30, 30, 30. Because once I come back up for the next set of spinal rolls, I will do a couple lateral side bends on each side. When I finish with my leg lifts, I will do the spinal twist on the floor here. Okay? And of course, you can always start out with cat-cow. So, I am going to go through it one time, just one each, but keep in mind that I do 10, okay? So at the top of your mat, toes facing towards the front of the mat. I just lift the toes up so that I lift the arches, place the toes down one at a time, keep the arches lifted, pull that energy up, inner thighs rolling in and up, shoulders over hips, chin parallel, Lift the crown of the head, stand nice and tall. Big inhale, arms reach up. Exhale, hinge forward. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, stack the vertebrae, core strong. Good. All right, so I'm gonna go into another one. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, hinge forward. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. We will pretend that was number 10. Step back, downward dog. Inhale, roll out, plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, lift, cobra. Exhale, down dog. Let me show you a modified version from the knees. Inhale, plank. Modified plank. Your knees are down. Chaturanga. Cobra. Down dog or child's pose. That's modified. So let's pretend we've done 10. Legs flip around. We come onto our back. 10 leg lifts. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. I've done 10. I rock forward. Few spinal rolls. Come all the way up to my standing position where I stack the vertebrae, roll it up, sweep up, and I do a couple lateral side bends in between. At the end of everything is usually when I do the spinal twist and then some additional hamstring stretches and whatever stretches that I need. And you can even do a Shavasana. Hopefully that makes sense. I guess that is another fun fact of what I do. All right, catch you guys later.